This single company controlled the fate of the world and the people who lived there, but how did it get that way? Who created this umbrella corporation who destroyed the world? Hello, I'm Isaac from Wotso Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people, and today I'm going to try to figure out who created By and Large. To find someone in the Pixar universe who could create a mega corporation like By and Large, we first need to isolate the films where a founder could have existed. Now, I don't want to go too in depth with the Pixar theory, but their timeline is an excellent starting point. Toy Story 3 is the earliest film in the Pixar timeline, which references By and Large, indicating some point before that movie, B&L was formed. Brave is much too early to see anyone produce a company, and the Toy Story films, Finding Nemo and Ratatouille, don't show anyone with considerable riches or intelligence, so this shortens the list considerably. Someone in Up or The Incredibles, I think, formed By and Large. Maybe it was Charles Muntz. He was adventurous and a brilliant inventor, and he's old enough to have established a wide-reaching company in his youth. Maybe he funneled the income from his expeditions into growing his influence in owning corporations. But he seems too obsessed with his quest to find the bird of Paradise Falls to even acknowledge the world outside of the jungle. He became too obsessive, impulsive, and murderous to organize By and Large. Maybe it was the government from The Incredibles. They were manipulating people's bodies and creating superhumans to control crime and villainous behavior. When the supers were banned, they were willing to erase minds and pour money to protect the former superheroes, showing they would go to any length to protect what the public deemed as their mistakes. Maybe as a replacement for the supers, who were the government's way of creating a sense of security for citizens, the government in secrecy built a corporation with positive connotations to monopolize the world and unify it under their control. People wouldn't have to trust in their taxing government, they would have to just believe in their friendly company By and Large. But I don't think this is likely. There are too many assumptions to bring about this conclusion, and there's little evidence to support the claim. But the real individual, who I think manifested B&L, becomes apparent when you hear how this company began.
By and Large got its start as a maker of frozen yogurt, and it acquired large industries, which seemed like a natural fit.
Who in the Pixar universe became extremely wealthy, practically a genius, and someone who was young enough to begin their time in the workforce making frozen yogurt? How about Buddy Pine, or as he is better known, Syndrome. After being rejected by his idol, Buddy swirls into despair, descends into megalomania, and disregards society as a whole. To compensate for his normal abilities, he continues to create new and powerful inventions for himself and discovered he was not the only one looking for powerful weapons. There were entire countries looking for state-of-the-art weapons, and Buddy was the boy who could provide them, for a price. He started off small, selling to crime groups and simple thieves in Metropolis, and acquired a large amount of wealth. Before long, there was no way to explain how a young boy could obtain such a large amount of money legally, so he had to hide it. Maybe he was already working at the frozen yogurt manufacturer, or knew people who did, but regardless, he bought out the By and Large frozen yogurt producer as a laundering front for his weapons business. For all of you who aren't conniving crime lords, laundering is the concealment of the origin of money obtained illegally through transfers involving foreign banks or legitimate businesses. Syndrome was hiding the weapons money as profits from the frozen yogurt shop, but obviously his ambition and intellect kept pushing his illegal trades larger and larger. With the expansion of his crime business, that also meant he needed to create a larger front. To do that, he had to grow his legitimate businesses, so he began purchasing larger companies until...
With over 2 million wholly owned subsidiaries, governmental bodies, and healthcare centers, By and Large has become the world leader in every conceivable field, including world leadership.
Syndrome's umbrella corporation and his weapon sales became too much for him to manage, so he began to delegate others to run those businesses as he plotted the downfall of Mr. Incredible, his true goal. In his quest to create the most powerful weapon against the supers, Syndrome developed innovations which would become standard for future By and Large robots. He developed zero-point energy, used in bots like Even Gopher, electronic scanning which could differ between organic and inorganic life. Syndrome developed an electronic personal flying system which was both lightweight and extremely fast. He created a compact weapon capable of massive explosions. Even though all of those innovations made an impact in the future of technology, they were insignificant to his most radical creation, artificial intelligence. In the Omnidroid, he had programmed it to learn and adapt to the enemies it faced. The machine didn't just know what was happening, but it could also change its strategy as it fought. The robots in WALL-E were given this as well. WALL-E, Eve, Mo, and the robots around were given a directive, but they quickly developed feelings for one another, had opinions, and manifested personalities. When Syndrome was defeated in Metropolis and was killed in the destruction of his aircraft, his accounts were frozen, and he was completely stripped from the company he had created, but I don't think his illegal practices ended. By and large, went on to become a powerful company integrated into every aspect of individuals' lives, which included politics and world government. Syndrome had already been dealing with nations around the world and had set up relationships unlike any other person. They had influence over everyone and monopolized every industry. By manufacturing every product, food, and weapon for every citizen, they were even able to appoint a global CEO. Syndrome wanted to seem like a hero, and his mega corporation had the same facade. At his core, he was a villain, and B&L was no different. Syndrome wanted to destroy the superheroes by selling his inventions and constructing the Omnidroid, but he really destroyed them through corporate greed, excessive pollution, and the annihilation of the planet around them. If you'd like to continue to theorize on Pixar movies, then I'll leave the links to the Pixar movies I discussed and the resources I used in the description of this video. So now it's time for your thoughts. Do you think Syndrome created By and Large? Do you think B&L is evil? And who's your favorite robot in any movie? I would probably say C-3PO. Let me know in the comments section along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, then remember to subscribe to Wotso videos and click the bell if you'd like to be notified when I post. Thanks for watching and have a magical day.